A cold morning mist wrapped around the California research facility, its glass windows reflecting the soft gray light. Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon stepped out of her sleek silver research vessel, her movements precise and calculated. Her dark eyes scanned the facility's exterior, taking in every architectural detail with scientific precision. The Krelvax research team had spent decades searching for a genetic solution to their species' critical reproductive challenges. Humanity represented their last hope, an unexpected reservoir of genetic potential that could save their civilization from eventual extinction. Ji-yoon carried a compact biological scanner, its silver surface gleaming with advanced technological markings. Her slim fingers traced the device's contours, a habit developed through years of meticulous research. Each movement suggested years of training and professional discipline. Inside the facility, Dr. Kim Sung-ho was reviewing genetic sequencing data when he first noticed the alien researcher. Her posture was different, too perfect, too structured to be human. She moved like a carefully programmed machine, each step calculated and intentional. "Good morning," Sung-ho called out, his voice steady and professional. Ji-yoon turned, her eyes meeting his with an intensity that momentarily surprised him. No typical greeting, no social pleasantries, just a direct, penetrating gaze that seemed to analyze every microscopic detail of his being. "I am here to conduct genetic research," she stated, her English precise and without emotional inflection. Sung-ho recognized immediately that this wasn't a typical research collaboration. The way she spoke, the intense focus in her eyes, suggested something far more significant was happening. The facility's main research hall was a marvel of modern scientific design. Pristine white walls, advanced computer systems, and genetic sequencing machines created an environment of pure scientific possibility. Ji-yoon moved through the space like she belonged, her alien presence somehow complementing the high-tech surroundings. Sung-ho watched her set up her equipment with a mechanical efficiency that bordered on beautiful. Each device was positioned with mathematical precision, cables connected with a surgeon's accuracy. She transformed the research space into an extension of her own methodical consciousness. "We have been monitoring your species for several Earth decades," Ji-yoon explained, her tone matter-of-fact. "Your genetic structure presents unique opportunities for biological restoration." Sung-ho raised an eyebrow. The phrase biological restoration carried significant weight. It suggested their research went far beyond simple scientific curiosity. Ji-yoon began extracting preliminary genetic samples, her movements smooth and practiced. Small vials filled with a soft blue liquid captured microscopic DNA fragments. Each sample represented potential salvation for an entire alien civilization. The facility's advanced scanning systems hummed softly, processing the initial data. Complex algorithms compared human genetic sequences against unknown comparative models. Something extraordinary was emerging, a genetic potential that even the most advanced Earth scientists had not yet discovered. Sung-ho noticed Ji-yoon's hands were slightly different from human hands, longer fingers, slightly iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer under specific lighting. These subtle differences marked her as definitively non-human, yet her scientific approach felt remarkably familiar. "Your species represents an unexpected genetic reservoir," she continued, reviewing initial scan results. "We did not anticipate such complex adaptive mechanisms." Her statement carried both scientific excitement and a hint of professional surprise. Humans, it seemed, were far more genetically sophisticated than the Krelvax had initially predicted. As morning transitioned into afternoon, the research facility became a silent battlefield of genetic exploration. Ji-yoon's advanced scanner continued collecting data, each scan revealing layers of human genetic complexity that challenged established scientific understanding. Sung-ho watched her work, recognizing that this moment represented something profound, a potential turning point in human understanding of genetic science and interspecies collaboration. The first encounter between humanity and the Krelvax was not dramatic or explosive. Instead, it was a quiet, methodical exploration of genetic potential, a scientific dance performed with precision, curiosity, and an underlying sense that something extraordinary was about to unfold. Outside, the California morning continued, unaware that inside this research facility, the first steps toward an unprecedented genetic partnership were being carefully, meticulously taken. The research facility buzzed with an unusual energy as days passed. Dr. Kim Sung-ho watched Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon analyze genetic samples with increasing curiosity. Her alien methodology was both familiar and completely foreign. During one afternoon session, Ji-yoon discovered something unexpected in the human DNA sequences. Her scanner revealed complex genetic markers that seemed to adapt and respond in ways she had never witnessed before. Her normally controlled expression shifted, just for a moment, to something resembling genuine surprise. "Fascinating," she muttered, her fingers moving rapidly across digital interfaces. Sung-ho approached her workstation, his natural human curiosity overriding strict scientific protocol. "What have you found?" Ji-yoon hesitated. Sharing preliminary research was not typical in Krelvak's scientific culture. But something about Sung-ho's open expression made her pause. His eyes reflected genuine intellectual excitement, not competitive ambition. "Your genetic structure demonstrates remarkable plasticity," she explained. "Each DNA strand appears to have multiple potential configurations. It's like your genetics are constantly preparing for unexpected challenges." Sung-ho smiled. Humans had always been adaptable, but hearing an alien scientist confirm this felt uniquely validating. Their research partnership developed an unexpected rhythm. Ji-yoon's precise, almost mechanical approach began softening. Sung-ho's casual explanations about human behavior slowly broke through her clinical exterior. During lunch breaks, they discussed more than just genetic sequences. Sung-ho shared stories about human cultural diversity. Ji-yoon listened, her initial professional distance gradually transforming into genuine interest. "Your species adapts not just genetically," she observed one day, "but culturally, socially, technologically." Her statement carried more complexity than a simple scientific observation. It felt like a subtle recognition of human potential. Weeks of research revealed increasingly surprising genetic insights. Human DNA seemed to contain hidden adaptive mechanisms that could potentially revolutionize genetic understanding across multiple species. The Krelvak's research logs would be extraordinary. But more importantly, something unexpected was happening between two scientists from completely different worlds. Ji-yoon started understanding human nuances. Sung-ho learned to appreciate her direct communication style. Their differences became a source of mutual fascination rather than disconnection. One evening, while reviewing complex genetic models, Sung-ho noticed Ji-yoon's scanner displaying unusual emotional response algorithms. Her technological systems were learning, adapting, much like the human genetics she studied. "Your technology responds almost intuitively," he commented. Ji-yoon's response surprised him. She actually smiled, a genuine, subtle expression that transformed her typically serious face. "Intuition," she said, "might be the most complex adaptive mechanism of all." Their research continued, each day revealing layers of genetic potential that challenged existing scientific understanding. But beyond the data, beyond the scientific protocols, something more profound was emerging, a connection that transcended species, technology, and traditional research boundaries. The California Research Facility had become more than a scientific workspace. It was now a bridge between two civilizations, built on curiosity, respect, and an shared passion for understanding the extraordinary complexity of life itself. As sunset painted the facility's windows with soft orange light, Sung-ho and Ji-yoon continued their work, two scientists united by an unexpected journey of discovery, their differences becoming their greatest strength. The genetic research was just beginning. And its potential seemed as infinite as human adaptability itself. The Krelvak's research communication channel crackled with excitement. Preliminary genetic analysis from Earth had transformed from routine data collection to a potential species-saving breakthrough. Senior genetic administrators reviewed Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon's reports with increasing intensity. Human DNA was not just unique, it represented a biological miracle that could potentially reverse generations of Krelvak's genetic degradation. Dr. Kim Sung-ho noticed the changing atmosphere in their research facility. Ji-yoon's communication patterns shifted. Her digital interactions became more frequent, more urgent. Something significant was happening beyond their immediate research environment. "Your genetic structures contain self-repair mechanisms we've never witnessed," Ji-yoon explained one morning, her voice carrying an unusual emotional undertone. Each human DNA strand appears to have multiple backup systems, almost like biological redundancy. Sun Ho understood the implications. Humans had evolved complex genetic survival mechanisms through millennia of challenging environmental conditions. What seemed random to human scientists appeared revolutionary to the Krelvacs. The research facility transformed. Advanced scanning equipment captured intricate genetic dance, human DNA sequences reshuffling, adapting, responding to minimal environmental stimulations. Each scan revealed layers of complexity that challenged established scientific understanding. Krelvac's leadership grew increasingly interested. Genetic restoration had been their species' most critical challenge for generations. Humanity represented more than a potential solution, they were a genetic treasure trove. Ji-Yoon's daily reports became more detailed, more passionate. Her typically controlled scientific language now contained subtle hints of excitement. She was discovering something profound about human biological potential. "Your species doesn't just survive," she told Sun Ho during a late-night research session. "You reconstruct, redesign, reimagine yourselves continuously." Sun Ho recognized the statement carried deeper meaning. It wasn't just about genetic mechanics, it was an observation about human resilience. Advanced computer systems processed genetic data, creating complex three-dimensional models that pulsed with living energy. Human DNA appeared almost intelligent, capable of making instantaneous adaptive decisions. The Krelvacs research team began understanding that genetic potential wasn't just about reproduction. It was about survival, evolution, and unexpected possibilities. Mysterious genetic markers suggested humans could potentially adapt to extreme environments, space radiation, temperature variations, even minimal resource conditions. Each discovery felt like unlocking another layer of a complex biological puzzle. Ji-Yoon's research approached a critical breakthrough. Her scanner detected something unprecedented: human genetic sequences that could potentially reset cellular aging processes. What seemed like scientific fiction was becoming potential reality. Sun Ho watched her work, recognizing they were standing at the edge of a profound scientific discovery. Their collaboration had transformed from a clinical research project into something far more significant. Military and scientific leadership from the Krelvac civilization began requesting more detailed reports. The potential of human genetic material was becoming clear, a biological solution that could save an entire species from genetic extinction. But Ji-Yoon was experiencing something unexpected. Her scientific objectivity was gradually being replaced by genuine respect for human potential, for biological complexity, for the unexpected paths of evolutionary development. "We are not just collecting data," she reflected one quiet evening. "We are witnessing a living, breathing evolutionary miracle." Sun Ho smiled, understanding the profound nature of her statement. Humanity was more than a genetic resource. They were a testament to biological creativity, adaptation, and unexpected potential. The research facility hummed with quiet energy. Advanced machines processed genetic information, creating complex models that represented more than scientific data. They represented hope, possibility, and the extraordinary journey of biological evolution. As California's evening light filtered through research facility windows, two scientists from different worlds continued their exploration, united by curiosity, respect, and the extraordinary potential of life itself. The genetic revelations were just beginning. And their potential seemed as infinite as human imagination. The Krelvacs' military communication channels buzzed with increasing tension. Genetic research data had transformed from scientific exploration to potential strategic resource acquisition. Senior military commanders viewed human genetic potential as a critical survival mechanism for their struggling civilization. Dr. Yoon Ji-Yoon received encrypted transmissions that carried increasingly aggressive undertones. Her research was no longer just a scientific mission, it had become a potential military objective. "We require complete genetic extraction protocols," came a stern communication from Krelvac's high command. The message was clear: humanity was to be treated as a genetic resource, not a collaborative partner. Dr. Kim Sun-ho noticed the change in Ji-Yoon's behavior. Her typically controlled demeanor became more guarded. Something significant was happening behind her professional exterior. During a critical research session, Ji-yoon's internal conflict became apparent. Her hands trembled slightly while processing genetic data, a rare display of emotional vulnerability for her species. Your leadership wants to harvest human genetic material, she admitted to Sung-ho, her voice carrying an unusual emotional weight. Without consent. Without understanding. The research facility's atmosphere grew tense. Advanced scanning equipment continued processing genetic data, but an underlying current of potential conflict emerged. Human genetic potential had transformed from a scientific curiosity to a potential point of interspecies conflict. Krelvak's military representatives began requesting more aggressive research protocols. Complete genetic mapping. Comprehensive extraction strategies. Their language suggested humanity was viewed more as a biological resource than an intelligent species. Sung-ho recognized the emerging challenge. This was no longer just a scientific collaboration, it was a potential battle for human biological autonomy. Ji-yoon found herself in an unprecedented personal and professional dilemma. Her species' survival requirements confronted her growing respect for human complexity. The clinical researcher was experiencing something entirely unexpected: moral conflict. Consent matters, Sung-ho explained during a critical conversation. Biological rights are not just scientific concepts. They represent fundamental human dignity. His words resonated deeply. Ji-yoon began understanding that genetic potential wasn't just about biological mechanics. It represented something more profound: individual agency, collective identity, human spirit. Military pressure increased. Encrypted communications suggested potential forced extraction strategies. The Krelvaks were preparing comprehensive genetic harvesting protocols that completely ignored human autonomy. Ji-yoon made a decision that would change everything. She began subtly modifying research reports. Complex genetic data became slightly obscured. Her professional integrity remained, but her moral compass guided her actions. Sung-ho watched her transformation. The clinical alien researcher was developing something unexpected: genuine respect for human complexity. Advanced research systems continued processing genetic information. But now, something more significant was happening. Two scientists from different worlds were discovering a fundamental truth about biological potential and mutual understanding. The research facility became a quiet battleground of ethical considerations. Each genetic scan, each research protocol carried deeper implications than simple scientific exploration. Krelvak's leadership would eventually discover her subtle resistance. But for now, Ji-yoon was protecting something far more important than immediate military objectives: the fundamental right of biological self-determination. Humanity is not a resource, she quietly told her research systems. Humanity is a living, breathing, evolving possibility. Sung-ho recognized the profound nature of her statement. Their research had transformed from a clinical exploration into a deeper understanding of species' potential, mutual respect, and the extraordinary complexity of biological existence. California's evening light filtered through research facility windows. Two scientists continued their work, one protecting her species' survival, another defending human biological autonomy. The tension was just beginning. And its resolution would determine the future of two civilizations. The final resolution began unexpectedly. Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon stood before the Krelvak's High Council, her research data carefully prepared. Years of scientific collaboration with Dr. Kim Sung-ho had transformed her understanding of interspecies relationships. Forced genetic extraction will fail, she stated firmly. Her presentation revealed a comprehensive alternative: a voluntary genetic exchange program that respected human autonomy while addressing Krelvak's genetic challenges. The council chamber fell silent. Ji-yoon's proposal was revolutionary, not just a scientific solution, but a diplomatic breakthrough that challenged centuries of Krelvak's military thinking. Sung-ho supported her remotely, providing critical human perspective through advanced communication systems. Their partnership had become something more than a research collaboration, it was a bridge between two civilizations. Genetic models displayed complex adaptive mechanisms. Human DNA wasn't just a resource, it was a living, dynamic system of extraordinary potential.
Each sequence told a story of survival, adaptation, and unexpected resilience. The Krulvax leadership realized something profound. Humanity represented more than a genetic solution. They were potential partners in a larger cosmic understanding of biological evolution. Diplomatic negotiations began transforming. What started as a potential military extraction became a collaborative research initiative. Humans would contribute genetic material voluntarily, with full transparency and mutual benefit. Ji-Yoon's report highlighted human complexity. Their genetic potential went beyond simple biological mechanics. It represented cultural diversity, individual agency, and an extraordinary capacity for adaptation. Sung-ho prepared comprehensive ethical guidelines for genetic sharing. Each protocol emphasized human rights, individual consent, and scientific transparency. The research would be a partnership, not a conquest. Advanced communication systems transmitted the proposed collaboration globally. Scientific communities, human governments, and Krulvax leadership began reviewing the groundbreaking proposal. The research facility in California became a symbol of something larger. Two scientists from different worlds had discovered a fundamental truth about biological potential and mutual understanding. "We are not just exchanging genetic information," Ji-Yoon explained during a critical presentation. "We are creating a new understanding of life itself." Krulvax military resistance gradually diminished. The potential benefits of voluntary collaboration far outweighed forced extraction. Humanity's genetic diversity offered solutions beyond their initial scientific expectations. Sung-ho recognized the profound nature of their achievement. Their research had transformed from a clinical exploration into a deeper understanding of species potential, mutual respect, and cosmic collaboration. The first voluntary genetic exchange program was officially approved. Humans would contribute genetic material through carefully designed scientific protocols. Each contribution would be fully transparent, ethically managed, and mutually beneficial. Ji-Yoon's final report to her species was groundbreaking. Humanity was not a resource to be harvested, but a complex, evolving civilization with extraordinary potential. The Krulvax would learn, adapt, and grow through genuine partnership. Global scientific communities celebrated the unprecedented collaboration. What began as a potential conflict had transformed into a model of interspecies cooperation. The research facility windows reflected California's setting sun. Two scientists had changed the course of two civilizations not through force, but through understanding, respect, and genuine scientific curiosity. Sometimes, Ji-Yoon told Sung-ho during their final collaborative session, discovery is more about connection than extraction. He smiled, understanding everything and nothing. The genetic research had revealed something far more significant than biological mechanics. It had demonstrated the extraordinary potential of mutual understanding, respect, and collaborative exploration. Two civilizations stood at the beginning of an unexpected journey, united by curiosity, scientific integrity, and the profound possibility of cosmic partnership. The resolution was complete. But their true exploration was just beginning.